This is somewhat creepy. So this is a bathroom facility, which typically is not open. Don't see anybody in here. Hello there. I'll be going on a night ride in this video. So I'll be going obviously at nighttime. I'm gonna go for a quick ride through the park. And I figured it'd be fun to get some video of it, see how it turns out. If it's not too dark. The video itself isn't too dark so that you can't see anything. Because it is a risk with these action cameras. They don't have huge sensors, so they're not low light beast. They are not great. So I have some extra lights because I'm on the Super73 S1 e-bike. The headlight, I don't know if you can see, is just a circle that points on the ground in front of you a little bit. So not super helpful in a lot of scenarios. Doesn't really project light out that far. So I have an extra light on my helmet. I actually have two lights. So I have one rear facing light that's red, and it's a shred light. And then I have their powerful SL1000, I think is the model number, on top of my helmet. Right now I don't have it on full power because it's really bright, and if there's cars it can blind you to have it shining in your face. But I will use that when I go through some of these darker portions. Yeah, so we're about to go through the park, and it's very dark. And these are the cycle wing lights that I have. There are some little turn signals. They're very bright at nighttime. During daytime, they still are better than nothing. Any of the stuff I point out, this is all stuff I've bought on my own after research. I wish that I was at a level where people would just send me crap. But yeah, I really like these cycle wing lights because on this bike, I have the standard. I got these on Amazon. They're like $39.99 for the standard ones. They just they have a little stem that goes in the bottom, or that goes on the end of your handlebars. Oh, there's the headlight. It just screws in. So you either cut the end of the handlebar grip off, or you change it out to ones where you can have a plug that you remove. You know, installs about 10 minutes. These are the ones that are the permanent install that run off of some like CR 2025 batteries. Yeah, there we go. Some more light. All these bugs. But yeah, so in case. Yeah, those are the lights, the blinkers. Just so, you know, especially at nighttime when there's cars, they can see what direction you're going. Blue. This is going through Cherokee Park. It is currently closed to car traffic. So, you cannot drive a car through here. It's actually a lot of controversy as the city discusses whether to open, and there's a lot of bugs. They discuss whether to open this back up to pedestrian, or because it's only open to pedestrians and bikes. And this is an e-bike, so I think it's good to go. And also going through at nighttime when there's pretty much nobody here. They're discussing whether to reopen it, because usually the way this will work, so this lane over here, I believe, would be traffic going in either direction. There are parts of the park where there's designated lanes for cars and bikes. There's some portions where it's one-way traffic. But there are some portions where it's two-way traffic. Personally, I've quite enjoyed being able to come here, you know, walk through or just ride a bike when there's no cars. But for people that have disabilities, it does hamper their ability to go throughout the entirety of the park. Now, there are a lot of people that have complained that, you know, it's not accessible. And these are all closed, so there's no need to stop these lights. Some people, I think, are using the ADA as a hammer for people with disabilities because they really just want to drive their Harleys through here during the day. and like there's always parking spots where you can parallel park. And this is the section where it said they have like a section that's for car or for bikes and pedestrians, and this is, you know, one way, and then there's a lane for cars. So if they change that back up, it'll be interesting. Like I said, I see both sides of the argument. Maybe they can just, you know, have some days where it's closed to traffic so you can go through here, and it has allowed the wildlife to flourish or be more prevalent than in the past. So I want to go through the path that's inside the park, but I want to go through a different part. There's like a big field. You probably can't see any of this because it's so dark, but yeah, I have this extra light because if I don't have this light, the Super73 S1 headlight is not very bright. So like if I turn this off, you can't really see very far in front of you. So if you have a Super73 S1 or you're planning to get one, I would definitely recommend getting an extra light to use if you're going to do night riding, unless you're riding on incredibly brightly lit major roads, because it's kind of difficult to navigate through like a park when you can't see that far ahead of you, and you may have you know, 15 feet in front of you, there may be a big branch over the path and you don't see it till the last second. So I recommend getting a bigger headlight, and that's probably most e-bikes really, because some of them don't even have headlights and some of them do, and they're not very bright. So I'm going to cut through here because this kind of reminds me of like again, this is a park in the middle of a residential area. Oh, sorry. It's pretty safe. But I am going through here at nighttime when it's not many people in here. And it's not that late yet. It's not midnight or something. At nighttime, like I've seen, so as you've seen on the video, if you've watched, I've encountered two people, one person on a bike, one jogger. You don't see too many people through here at night. Now there are people that come through at night and go through the mountain bike trails, which this is part of the mountain bike trail. This is not a mountain bike, and it's a Class 2 e-bike, so I would not take this on the trails, but yeah, so this is going through the path that cuts through the middle of the park. And if you have an e-bike, you probably wouldn't come through here during the middle of the day when it's really busy. And then up the top, there's like a hill at the top that has like a gazebo. People often go through there and play with their dogs, and you can roll down the hill to access the mountain bike trails. That guy didn't look too happy. So from here, a lot of this is really grown up. They haven't really done much maintenance, which makes sense since they haven't had vehicles coming through. This is going to the top of the park. Going to where they have the Hogan's fountain, which is a fountain that at the top of it has a statue of Pan, like Greek mythology. It's kind of creepy riding through here at night. Again, this isn't like Blair Witch, this is in the middle of a bunch of neighborhoods. And since it's closed to car traffic, I guess that theoretically makes it safer. I don't know. Because people can't just drive their cars through like usual. Because in the past, this lane I'm in right now would be where the cars could drive, and then this other lane over here would be pedestrians and cyclists. there'll be a handful of parking spots up here and such, but let's see. Just like here, I don't know if you can see this in the GoPro, that's the statue of Pan. It has paint on it. A lot of people are very upset when things get paint on it, which, you know, it sucks. I'm not really sure what the relevance of that statue was to. I'm just uneducated if there was any deeper meaning or if it's just a statue of Pan. I'm not sure who sculpted it, but it's pretty cool. It's got paint on it. There is at that fountain there are little downspouts where you can get water for your dog if you want, which is nice when you're going through the park. And this is somewhat creepy. So this is a bathroom facility, which typically is not open. I don't see anybody in here. Yeah, I don't know if I want to actually go inside that or not. There's a rock in front of it. That could be where, just where somebody wants to keep it open to use it during the day while they're here at the park, or it could be somebody is sleeping in there at nighttime, maybe, which isn't completely improbable, as there are several homeless camps not too completely far from this area. And too, honestly, if somebody was just sleeping in there to get out of the elements, that's not the worst thing that can happen. Because you don't want people going there and destroying stuff that costs money to repair for it to be usable amenities for people. So I'm trying to think where I'm going to go next. This is back outside of the park, going around the boundary. There are people that use the park at nighttime. I'm going to turn this away from the road. I'm not shining in their face. People do often come here and go through like the mountain bike trails at nighttime, or just hike or take their dogs on walks pretty frequently. So I've gone through at nighttime quite a bit, and I've never really seen anything that nefarious occur. But I mean anything nefarious. Now, granted, I wouldn't probably walk by myself on a trail in the middle of the woods at nighttime. Because even if you have some type of weapon or self-defense, I mean, if somebody gets the drop on you, it doesn't matter much. Oh no, somebody's going to come up behind me and be mad. Class 2, so it's supposed to do 20. Depending on how much battery you have, you can do a little bit more than that sometimes, depending on your weight and the terrain, and how inflated your tires are. And two, the speedometers on these things aren't always completely accurate. I probably would not ride on this road when it's prime time traffic. Again, just for safety, in my helmet I have a red light. It's just a red tread light that's pretty visible because the brake light on this isn't super bright. And I have a cargo bag that somewhat obscures it. I'm trying to go little park.
People here. Maybe well, there are people inside the gazebo thing. Yeah, that gazebo thing that was back there, that's often vandalized or graffiti, and it's apparently been repainted. I was gonna look at it, but there are people in it, and I don't want to go in there and bother people. This is cutting through some of the backside here. Oh, get hit by bugs. Isn't that big of a deal, but and also right now in Kentucky, in Louisville specifically, we're in the middle of the emergence of the cicada brood X, I think is what it's called. They're not noisy at nighttime, so you can't hear them, but now it's just the normal crickets and night bugs, but the cicadas are pretty noisy. And it is always interesting when you're going on these night rides. Whenever you're doing something that draws any attention, it makes people pay attention to what you're doing. They sometimes they're doing things that seem a bit shady. Side of the Seneca golf course. I guess I theoretically could drive through the golf course, but they have paths that come out to the side that are for golf carts, but I'm not sure how entertaining that would be. I guess I'll go this way. Just an underpass to Interstate 64. Now I've cut around back through here. I'm going to take this bike path that lets you cut around the interstate. And this is on the back side of Bowman Field, which I don't know if you can see way off in the distance because the lights are making the fence. But Bowman Field, airfield, which is a small airfield where a lot of private planes fly out of. There's a lot of the weekend pilots who will fly their planes around the neighborhood, buzzing them in the sky for hours when you're trying to do stuff. And they have like tours and such, and like private planes and jets will fly out of there. And this trail is only for pedestrians and cyclists.
weird looking. It's not supposed to be for motorized vehicles, but electric bike doesn't count as a motorized vehicle. It should be treated as a bicycle, so it's good to go. So let's cut around the expressway, because over here to the left is the ramp from the expressway back to this road. So this lets you cut around it, not have to worry about going on a road where the speed limit is 45 miles per hour. And this road runs parallel. This is Cannon's Lane. It's a bike path. Might turn the brightness of this down. But this bike path was completed a few years ago. It lets you cut around the expressway if you want to get to the Seneca Park side. So this cuts back through there's the driver's license bureau, so where you go to get your driver's license or to do your driver's test is over here at the Bowman Field location. There's the airport, a bunch of the hangars, people store their planes. Straight ahead. This is the license. I think this is the back of the licensing building. And there's typically people here practicing parallel parking. Which there are. So there are, when you take the driver's test, you have to parallel park between a couple of sawhorse things or metal beams that look like that. So those cars over there are practicing parallel parking. You just go up there at nighttime and practice when nobody's here. And I've always thought that wasn't a great way to test parallel parking, because it's not actual cars. Because a lot of times the cars in general, if you like the method I use, if you pull it pretty much even with another car's mirror and you cut it, it's easy. But if it's just, you're not typically going to be parking between some like metal beams. I don't know if you can even see any stuff, but there's the airport that's over to the right. This is Dutchman's Lane, I believe. These roads you use all the time. It's hard to sometimes remember what they're called. Just commit to memory the roads you have to take. So I'll just finish this up at the main entrance to the Bowman Field Airport. Yeah, it's Dutchman's Lane. Chain. I need to tighten the chain up on this. I mean, I tighten it pretty frequently. Because the one downside to the Super73, at least the S1, I'm not sure if the other models are all like this, but it doesn't have the typical chain. Because like I have the other bikes I have, they have more traditional setup where you have the chain tensioning, where you have the nut that you can release and tighten it up precisely, and it has little notches to count, where it's at, so you can get it even on both sides. You get it pretty precise. This one you just have to loosen up the nuts to the rear wheel and just pull back on it and tighten it and hope you get it even. So it's not exactly a science, and it doesn't tend to typically stay tight for that long. Next time I might put some Loctite on or something to see if that'll keep it in place longer, but that could make it difficult to replace stuff later. But yeah, so I'm rolling up on it right now. Will be the Bowman Field Airport. Somebody coming. Yeah, so this is a little airstrip. Not big so much, but there's planes and such. There's benches so you can sit here and watch the planes. Sometimes there's air shows, they'll stage stuff here so you can come and see some of the planes. But yeah, this is Bowman Field. There's the French restaurant. Yeah, but so that was a night ride that went through the Cherokee Park area and around the Seneca Park area, around Bowman Field. So until next time, that's it.